Later on, his older brother, the Bodhisattva Wuju, explained things to him, and he understood and repented. He made a vow to cut off his own tongue. But his brother said, "There's no need. You used your tongue in the past to slander the great minister, so now just use your tongue to praise the great minister instead. Isn't that enough?" So after that, he praised and promoted the great minister. This is what it means to repent and make a vow. If he can overcome his mind, he will be saved. If we want to save those beings who create negative karma, there's nothing for it but to diligently promote the Mahayana teachings. The true and unmistakable face of the great and noble Dharma. We need to help him truly and fully understand in a way that is unmistakable, so that he will turn around and not only stop slandering, but also praise. Today, I've been teaching and explaining the Dharma on this platform for 40 years. I started giving lectures when I was 33 years old, so I am 72 years old this year, which means I am 40 years old. And there are still so many people who slander me. It's something I should accept. Why is that? I created negative karma before Buddhism, slandering the Dharma. I used to say it was all superstition too. I believed in Christianity and Islam. I spent 2 years with Christianity and a year with Islam. I had a good impression of them. They explained logically. But with Buddhism, I hadn't met monks or teachers, so I didn't understand Buddhism. I also thought Buddhism was superstition and supported ending superstition. I've created a lot of bad karma. I was stuck deep in the abyss. I couldn't see the sins that would lead to hell. When I was young and ignorant during the war at school, what temples did we have at school? The government confiscated the temples, and the temples were turned into schools. The main hall became the assembly hall, and the side rooms were used as classrooms. Back then, the Buddha and Bodhisattva statues were actually treated quite well. They were all gathered up and locked in a room with a seal on the door. We kids heard there were lots of Buddha and Bodhisattva statues in there that you could take out and play with. We'd pry open the windows, take the Buddha statues out and use them as toys. After playing with them, we'd just toss them aside. Destroy. We opened wooden Buddha statues to see inside. Oh well, there were threads and all sorts of things inside their bellies, so many odd bits, even talismans. We committed these kinds of wrongdoings without realizing it, and the teachers never said anything either. And even if someone had told us, we probably wouldn't have listened anyway. So we ended up committing the sin of slandering and destroying the Buddha's teachings. It was after learning Buddhism that I realized this karma leads to Avachi hell. So, after 40 years of giving talks and teaching the Dharma, if others slander or insult me, it's only fair that a heavy sin gets a lighter retribution. I was a real troublemaker when I was a kid at school. My teachers really liked me, but I was a handful and hard to manage. My memory was excellent. If I read a book once, I could remember it, so I stopped studying and just winged it for exams. 10 minutes before the exam, I'd have a quick look at the book and I'd remember everything. And when it came to the test, I'd only aim for 60 marks, just enough to pass, nothing more. I wasn't after glory or gain, so I was always the first to hand in my paper. The teacher would see this and shake their head. They'd wonder, you could get a good mark, so why not? But going out to play was more important to me. If I move up a grade each year, that counts as my goal. Isn't that all you expect from me anyway? Whether it's the teachers or my parents, I always meet your expectations. But what about me? What about what I want? You know, I read a lot in China, way more than most of my classmates. I love reading books from the school library. That's why I know more general knowledge than others. I started reading all those old Chinese novels from year 3 in primary school and finished them by year 7 in high school. Then I stopped reading them. I've read all the good novels about 4 or 5 times each. Take the 4 great classical novels, for example: Journey to the West, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Water Margin, and Dream of the Red Chamber. I've probably read each of them 5 or 6 times. And for such thick books, it never took me more than a week to finish one. I read all the novels, so I stopped reading novels after the first year of junior high school. In the evenings, instead of listening to opera, I'd read novels. But really, I should have been going to watch opera at night. Our school life was actually quite interesting. Our teachers all knew about it. Even the principal was aware. So I told the principal, these days school is just about getting a certificate or a qualification, nothing more. What's the point of learning all these different subjects? What use is it to me? So my teacher couldn't do anything. There was lots of homework too. But I suppose I did have a bit of a good nature. I didn't harm others or cause trouble for society. It was only after I encountered Buddhism that I really understood and grasped this principle. I put in the effort to suddenly awaken and practice kindness. Before I started cultivating good fortune, whenever people did fortune telling for me, they'd say I wouldn't live past 45. I actually believed it, never doubted it. Why? Based on all the karma I'd created, how could I expect to live a long life? That doesn't make sense. So when I turned 45 and fell ill, I didn't bother seeing a doctor or taking medicine, just like Lin Mo Yuan. I figured my time was up. Doctors can treat illness, not fate. I recited the Buddha's name and prayed to be reborn in the Pure Land. I've been studying for a month. That's good. It's all right. So, when we have a change of heart and mind, we dedicate all our wisdom, our abilities, and our bodies completely, fully, and wholeheartedly to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, working for them instead of for ourselves. In Buddhism, we talk about returning by vow. We transform our karmic force into the power of aspiration. No need to wait to be reborn in the Western Pure Land to return. Transform karma into willpower and you can return to fulfill will. My change is effective and Lin Mu's daughter's change is also effective. This demonstrates for you. If the two of us can do it, then all of you can do it too. Will you make the change? Once you make that change, your mindset shifts as you think of the Dharma and all beings, and you must not have a single thought for yourself. If I'm doing it for Dharma and others, can I do it for myself? No, you can't. It really has to be 100% for the Dharma, 100% for all beings. Absolutely not even the slightest thought for yourself is allowed. you'll be able to turn things around, and you'll do it really quickly. You're taking part in the Buddha and Bodhisattva's teachings. I've joined the Buddha and Bodhisattva's line of work. In this group, how could there possibly be any reason you can't turn things around? Do you still need to study the teachings? No need to study, or you won't be able to practice it. If your mind is the same as the Buddha's, then these words are the Buddha's words. Every single word and sentence holds infinite meaning. You'll naturally see it, and it'll naturally come out of you. It's not that you need to prepare and gather materials before you can speak. There's no such thing. It just naturally flows out like that, coming straight from your true nature itself. Understand the principle. Focus on the inner teachings, but just learn a few basic methods. When we reach out, wishing to enter the Buddha's realm, we must definitely rely on the teachings of the great masters and patriarchs, so we don't misrepresent what they've said. But if you truly set your heart on spreading the Dharma for your whole life, you must enter that state yourself. If you don't, then even if you talk about treasures, they all belong to someone else and have nothing to do with you. Let go fully. If you let go, you will naturally see through it. What does seeing through mean? Understood. You see the nature of things, the principles, causes and effects, and karmic retribution. All of it is crystal clear. That's what it means to see clearly. That's what it's all about. Look at the following doors. If you encounter dusty ones, say ugly dragons. Take a look at filth and impurity. The karmic result is in the hell realms, and those are the kinds of phenomena you see in hell. If we look at the depictions of hell in Buddhist teachings, and then look at other religions, for example, we can see that they also have their own illustrations of hell. Even though other religions might not talk about the 6 realms, at the very least they mention 3, heaven, the human world, and hell. The images depicted in hell, none of them are pleasant to look at. The forms are all extremely frightening, ugly and deformed. This is something we should be wary of. When a single thought of true intention arises, it illuminates everything. Being ugly and deformed is the immediate retribution, while hell is the ultimate consequence. We shouldn't be ignorant of this. So if our appearance is ugly and deformed, it means our minds are full of filth and heavy with jealousy. If we can change ourselves, develop compassion, feel sympathy for all living beings, care for all living beings, and help all living beings, our appearance will change. So, have you actually put effort into your practice? Don't look at anything else, just look at your appearance. Compare your appearance and your physical condition from 3 years ago to how they are right now, at this very moment, as you are today. Who should we learn from to transform our hearts? If your mind is pure, then you'll have a pure appearance. If your mind is compassionate, you'll show compassion. If your mind is wise, you'll have a wise look about you. If your mind is malicious, you'll show malice too. How could you possibly hide that from others? You can't fake it, no matter how hard you try. People in this world are so ambiguous. They go for cosmetic surgery, but the more they do, the worse it gets. I've seen plenty of people who've had cosmetic surgery. Before the surgery, they actually looked all right, but afterwards, their appearance just became odd and not the least bit endearing. And what about that appearance? It's a fake look. Their heart hasn't changed at all. So you need to understand, no matter how well you try to shape your appearance, if your heart isn't good, even a good-looking face will turn ugly. Once you understand this, why waste your hard-earned money on cosmetic surgery? Work on your heart instead. When your heart changes, your appearance will change too. So, you don't need to go looking for medical treatments or all sorts of supplements. There's really no need for you to worry at all. If your heart is good, your body will naturally be healthy. I've never, ever sought anyone's help for health treatments, not at any point in my life, never. I've never taken any supplements. Whatever ginseng or Korean ginseng people give me, I just give it to others. I don't touch it. You need to work on your mind. There's no need to focus so much on your body. If you're always worrying about your health, just think about it. You're still attached to your physical self. You haven't let go of your selfish thoughts, and you're still clinging to your physical appearance. The Diamond Sutra teaches us a fundamental principle for cultivation, to be free of the notions of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. When it comes to true reality, you are still attached. How can your body and mind possibly be pure? If your body and mind aren't pure, how can your body be healthy? So you need to understand, the healthiest way is to return to nature. Nature is selfless. Nature is without ego. So, what the Diamond Sutra says about breaking the four notions is actually about returning to nature. Nature is the healthiest, and nature is the real indestructible body. Buddhist scriptures note golden body. But what do we do now? We make statues and cover them in gold leaf. Think about it. Does that actually look good? If someone's whole face was gold, that'd be a bit odd, wouldn't it? I reckon no one would like that. Gold is for appearance. Out of all materials, why is gold considered so precious and respected? Because gold doesn't change color. So gold stands for something unchanging. What's unchanging is real. What changes is false. A single thought from the true mind, that's what's called gold, or golden in color. The Avatamsaka Sutra uses this as a symbol. You've all seen it. It talks about a golden world, meaning it's unchanging. The deluded mind changes, so it's not real. That's why gold stands for what doesn't change. What's real is the true mind. What doesn't change is the one mind. If there are two minds, it changes. So we really need to understand what these symbols mean. You can't just stick to the literal words. That's where you'll go wrong. If you want to learn Buddhism, I don't. Yellow things on the body are ugly when studying Buddhism. You need to understand what's meant in the sutras. Buddhist scriptures are truly hard to grasp. The real meaning lies beyond the words. But you have to know how to listen. It's the same with the scriptures. The meaning is outside the text, not within the words themselves. We need to let the words guide you. That's why in Zen Buddhism, the analogy of pointing at the moon makes a lot of sense. It's saying you have to follow where it's pointing to see the truth. So, it's not about the words themselves, nor about what is said. Zen doesn't rely on written words or spoken explanations. Only then can you grasp the true meaning. The real meaning is your true nature. Your true nature is inherently wise, inherently responsible. This is the true meaning spoken by the Tathagata. But this true meaning isn't just the true meaning of Shakyamuni Buddha either. So, the true meaning of the Tathagata refers to one's true nature. It's the essence of our nature. It's one of the Buddha's 10 titles. Not one person. If you wish for everything in this life, this is the suffering that you cannot obtain among the 8 sufferings. Why can't you get what you want? Because you'd rather die than let go. So, seeking becomes a wish. I started studying Buddhism when I was 26. Back then, I really regretted that I'd come across the Buddha's teachings so late. Buddhism is good. Why didn't I find it? Now, looking back, it was during times of great hardship that I developed faith in Buddhism. I've told you all before, when I was young, I was a bit clever, had a bit of wisdom, and could argue a bit too. It wasn't easy for anyone to convince me. Back when I was at school, I never met anyone who could match me. I could turn something dead into something alive with my words. I was really good at talking, always arguing with people and deliberately taking the opposite side. I could always make a convincing argument. So, for someone to get me to believe in happiness, to actually convince me, was no easy feat. That's why, when I met Mr. Fang Dengmai, he was the one who finally managed to persuade me. He's one of the great contemporary philosophers of China, top 5 in the world, not just nationally recognized, but a world-class philosopher. He showed me Buddhism, then I believed. My attitude towards Buddhism made a 180-degree turn. I even went to temples to look for scriptures to read. The words of the patriarchs are profound. After about a month of reading Buddhist scriptures, I met Master Zhongjia. Whenever I came across something difficult to understand, he would help me work through it. He was incredibly compassionate, giving me 2 hours of his time every week. I would consult him, and I studied with him for 3 years. My foundation in Buddhism really came from being his student. He taught me to see through, let go, not be stingy. So, when it comes to learning Buddhism, who should you seek guidance from? From the master you admire most in your heart. When this person speaks, you must obey and follow completely. If you lack confidence in this teacher, no matter how good, virtuous, capable, or wise, don't follow them. If you don't have faith in them, how could you follow everything they say? That's why the relationship between teacher and student is so important. The teacher cares for the students, and the students respect the teacher. Then the teacher will truly be willing to teach, and the students will genuinely be willing to learn. I feel fortunate that in this life, I've had such a good connection. Teacher John called me in. Even now, when I'm giving talks here in Hong Kong, I occasionally mention this matter. Mr. Tang Junyi, the former head of New Asia College in Hong Kong, was also a student of the great modern philosopher, Professor Fang Dongmai. We are classmates in different years. He achieved accomplishments in philosophy. He's gone. He was probably about 10 years or so older than me, I think. So, meeting people like this, well, my journey on the path to enlightenment has honestly been smooth sailing. When Master Zhanjie met me, he looked after me with the utmost care. He gave me 2 hours every week, and I couldn't even slack off if I wanted to. If I skipped a session, he'd call or send someone to check if I was sick and ask why I didn't show up. It was that kind of warmth and enthusiasm, you just couldn't not go. He was truly dedicated to teaching, so I'm always deeply grateful for my teacher's kindness. After they both passed away, at that time, I completely stopped doing any business with Mr. Li Bingnan. This teacher was very caring and truly loved me. Buddhism answers every sincere request. Master Zhanjie taught me. He said, if you pray for something and it doesn't happen, it means you have obstacles, you have karmic hindrances. So what should I do then? Repent, clear karma. Once those obstacles are gone, what you're asking for will come to you. I've prayed 16 years, but karmic obstacles stopped it. Obstacles gone, finally coming together achieved. If you have karma blocks, things won't happen, you must clear them. And to truly clear those obstacles, you have to put in the hard yards. Your own mind and actions need to enter the Buddha state. Well, because we are on the podium, this performance, fellow practitioners should listen carefully. You can hear. I've lectured on the Infinite Life Sutra 10 times. This is my 10th time. Every time a new view is sessions differ. It's not that I'm holding anything back or saving it for the next talk, not at all. It's just that the state of mind changes every year. If the state of mind changes every year, it shows that some karmic obstacles are being cleared away each year. If you don't clear away some of your karmic obstacles, you just can't make progress today. And I'm not someone with sharp faculties either. I'm more of an average person, so my karmic obstacles are being cleared away bit by bit, year after year. That's why my state of mind is different every year. I'm aware of this, and listeners know too.